Okay, so we're going to be doing this as a group, and it's Denise and Dejah, and Dejah is going to be starting off in the inner leg muscles.
Okay, so right here at the very top you have your sartorius. Okay, so right here at the top you have your sartorius. Now moving on to this side where the sartorius would be, we have our vastus lateralis, your rectus femoris, and when you open up the rectus femoris you have your vastus intermedialis, and then you have your vastus medialis. Now, okay.
Go.
Okay. Now moving on to this side. Oops, sorry. You have your psoas minor, your psoas major, and then if I grab the tweezers, right in here is a little flap, if you can see it, is the iliac.
Okay, so now this is Denise, and I'm going to be doing the gracilis, which is going to be right under the sartorius. And once you cut and reflect this, which is going to be right here, it's a little messy, but we're going to see first the pectineus right here, then the adductor longus right here, then the adductor femoris, the semimembranosus, and this little hanging bit is the semitendinosus. Okay, so now we're moving to the, I guess, outer thigh right here, and I'm doing the biceps femoris, which is this one right here. It's a little cut up, that's fine. We have the tensor fascia lata right here, which is covered by this big film. Now we have the gluteus maximus, which is going to be hiding under all this little fat that we try to remove, but it's a lot. And then the gluteus medius, which is larger than the gluteus maximus.
Okay, so right here we're working on the outer leg. So this big chunky part is your gastrocnemius. Then right here you have your soleus. Then if you flip the leg over just a little bit, you have your plantaris, and then you have your peroneus longus, and then right here you have your extensor digitorum longus, and then right here, this flap right here, the outer part, is your tibialis cranialis.
So now we're going to do these back muscles right here. We're starting with the, actually start back here, the multifidus spinae, which is going to be right next to the spinal cord right here, and it's going to be right here, multifidus spinae. It's really thin. Then we have the longissimus dorsi, which splits into these three right here, and it comes all the way from here. Longissimus dorsi right here, splits to three. Then we have the spinalis dorsi right here, and this lumbodorsal fascia, which is this film, white film right here. We also have serratus dorsalis, which are right over the ribs. And lastly, our intercostalis externus, which is this little flap. It's going to be the inside of it. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, so now we had to flip the cat around. Okay, so sorry about that. We had to flip the camera around. But we're going to start with the abdominal muscles next. So right here, you have your external oblique. Then you have your internal oblique, and then you have your transverse abdominis. Go.
All right, now we're doing these over here, which are at the very, I guess, back of the cat.
Yeah, the deep back.
Deep back, awesome. So now first we're starting right here by the neck, the clavotrapezius. Right below that we're going to have the levator scapulae ventralis muscle right here. We're going to have the clavobrachialis, which runs right here. Then we have our acromiotrapezius. Next we have our spinotrapezius right here, and below that is going to be latissimus dorsi. Did I mention our spinal deltoid, which is going to be right here? Not sure, but spinal deltoid and acromiodeltoid right here. And I think that's it for this one.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going into the deep shoulder. So right in here, you have your subscapularis. Right here, this first little flap, you have your rhomboideus capitis. Then in here, you have your, splenius, Okay, these two that I'm holding together because I separated when we were dissecting the cat is your rhomboideus cervicus. Then right here is your rhomboideus thoracis. Alright, so now moving back to the deep back, we have our supraspinatus, then we have our infraspinatus, then this dark piece right here, if you can see it, is your teres major, right here, teres major.
And these are under the acromiotrapezius, right?
Yes, under the acromiotrapezius.
Awesome. Alright, so now we're doing the flexors of the arm, and I'm starting off with the stubby bit right here, which is the pronator teres, and it's going to be right next to the flexor carpi radialis, which is this one right here, which looks like two merged. Then we have the flexor digitorum superficialis, and right next to this is the flexor carpi ulnaris next to the ulna.
Okay, now moving on to the extensor side of the arm, you have your brachioradialis right here. Then right in here, this kind of like this little big piece next to the brachioradialis, you have your extensor carpi radialis longus. Then this flap right here, you have your extensor digitorum communis. Then this right here, you have your extensor digitorum lateralis. And then you have your extensor carpi ulnaris, this big old bit. And then right here, we couldn't really get a good depiction of it, but when you look at the elbow, this is where the aconius is running alongside the elbow.
Okay, now we are in the inner shoulder, you could say, right here, and we're going to be looking at the biceps brachii, which is going to be right here. Let me open this up right here. Yeah, biceps brachii, and we have the epitrochlearis right here, and we also are going to have the coracobrachialis, which we couldn't get a good look at, but it's going to be deep in the shoulder muscle in there.
Finishing up the upper arm, as you could say, you have your brachialis right here. Then right over here, where your tricep brachii is going to be, you have your triceps brachii long head, your triceps brachii lateral head, and then if you, in between both of these, you have your triceps brachii medial head.
Alright, now we're doing this chest basically right here, and we're starting off with the pecto antebrachialis, which is right here, and these are a little butchered, but it's okay. We are going to have the pectoralis major right here, the pectoralis minor, which is going to be a little larger than the pectoralis major right here, and lastly our xiphi humerales, which runs down here.
Alright, now moving on to the deep thoracic muscles, you have your transverse costrum. Yeah, transverse costrum. Okay, right here you have your scalenes, which runs all the way down. Right here is your scalenes. Then you have your rectus abdominis right here, this big chunk. And then, oops, sorry. And then right here running along, I don't know if you can see, kind of like right here, you have your serratus ventralis.
Awesome. And that was pretty much all of the muscles.